Hi, welcome to this week's statcast. There's three things I'm going to talk about this week. We're going to talk about Chiefs' remarkable comebacks in Europe. I've got some quickfire stats for the middle, and then I'm going to finish by talking about Chiefs' record in France ahead of their trip to Bayonne this weekend. So let's talk about Chiefs' comebacks so far this season in Europe. They've played 3 games in the Champions Cup this year. They've had 3 dramatic comebacks. They're not even second half comebacks, they're final quarter comebacks. Let's look at the scores by quarter, in the aggregate scores by quarter in those 3 games. In the first quarter of their 3 European games, Chiefs have scored 12 points and conceded 17. That's actually, that was 2 points against Toulon and 3 points this week against Glasgow. Are the difference there. Second quarter of the games haven't gone very well for Chiefs at all. They've scored 10 points but conceded 30. Third quarters have been very tight of these games. Just 20 points scored in all, 8 for Chiefs, 12 against. And then let's look at the final quarter. And you're probably wondering why there's not one of the green bars to show the points scored against Chiefs on this chart. They haven't conceded a point in the final quarter of these games, and they've scored 40. They've actually scored more points in the final quarter of games than they have in the first 3 quarters of each game. And that's been the difference in those European games. At 60 minutes in, they were losing by 8 points in Toulon, 9 points against Munster, and 11 points against Glasgow. I'm not suggesting you should bet on them being 11 points behind and winning against Bayonne, but I'm not saying it's out of the question. I can't explain what this is causing this. I think it must be surely fitness. Whether that stamina is helping to improve decision making in the final quarter, whether it's a habit now that they know that they can do it. I mean, if you've got any ideas, let me know. Why is it? Why are Chiefs so good in that final quarter in Europe? Why is it against the European sides and it's not quite so pronounced in the Premiership? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, send me a message. I'll be fascinated to hear your theories for it. I'm not entirely convinced that they weren't waiting to the 60th minute on Saturday to start scoring against Glasgow. Okay, into the middle part of the cast now. First thing I want to say is thanks so much for watching. If you like what I'm doing and you like these videos, please like this video through YouTube, hit the subscribe button to the channel. You'll get notified then when I've done another one. You wouldn't want to miss out, would you? And also, if you could share this, tell your friends about it, get more people watching. The more people that are watching, the more I'll feel that it's worthwhile doing it, unfortunately. So if you could just do that for me, I'd be very grateful. Anyway, let's do some quickfire stats. So quickfire stat number 1 this week. Chiefs passed 1,000 points in the Champions Cup at Sandy Park on Saturday. Henry Slade's conversion took them from 999 points in the Champions Cup at Sandy Park to 1,001. Stat 2. Saturday's game in the Champions Cup was the first time Chiefs have won the penalty count in a game since their win at Newcastle 7 games ago. In every other game, they'd lost the penalty count, even though they'd only lost at Bath and at home to Northampton. Stat 3. That's now 11 successive wins in the pool stages of the Champions Cup at Sandy Park for Exeter. That goes back 5 years to a defeat by Gloucester in December 2018, and actually in the Champions Cup as a whole, if we include the knockout games as well, that's 1 defeat in 18 matches at Sandy Park for Chiefs. That home record is incredible. Now, stat 4 is this is Chiefs. Saturday will be Chiefs' 29th game in the Champions Cup against French opposition. They've won 15 of those games, lost 12 of them, and drawn just once, and that was a winning draw against Montpellier last season. Final quickfire stat, stat 5. Exeter and Bayonne have met before, 9 years ago in the Challenge Cup. Exeter lost 30-24 in Bayonne, notable mainly for Jack Arnott slotting a penalty, and then won 45-3 back at Sandy Park. That's the only time they've met before, these two sides, and that was in the Challenge Cup 9 years ago. I don't think it's much of a form guide for this week. Okay, now final part of this week's statcast. Chiefs have played 18 games in both European competitions in the pool stages in France. They've recorded 7 wins and 11 defeats. Let's look at those margins on a chart. You'll see from this chart, actually, that record isn't as bad as it could be because they've won 5 of their last 8 pool matches in France in the Champions Cup. And there's loads of iconic games in that to pick out. And I'd be really interested to know what your best memories are, what you think Chiefs' best result in France has been, whether those two are the same thing or whether they're completely different. Are some of those best memories Chiefs matching up against Clermont, although the results maybe not, although they are getting better. Maybe next time will be the time we win over there. Is it the 2 wins in La Rochelle? One in each competition. Was it that first European away win in Bourgoin way back in 2010? Was it Toulon this year? That incredible comeback win to do it at the death. I'd be really interested to know what you think. You can see there have been some pretty harrowing days there for Exeter. There have been some absolutely memorable ones. Personally, I think the 2 most important wins were probably those wins in Bordeaux and Montpellier in the middle of that run that showed Chiefs that they could win in France. I hope you've really enjoyed this week's StatCast. Hopefully see you again next week. Thanks very much. Bye.